That's pretty much it. We're going to move on to a take for 99 here on the show as we close. One of my favorite segments of all time, where we give you a very expensive take for a cheap price. Okay, in all of sports right now that is flowing and indoctrinated in our brains, we get to spit it out right now. Okay, we have a 1 minute clause that we can respond to each other's take if we choose to invoke it. Now, I want to go first here because I'm going to stay in the sport of boxing, right? Because really and truly, when we do a take for 99, we normally go NBA, NFL.
Mhm.
I want to go boxing because I feel like now, and I've been doing this podcasting stuff for about 4 years now,
Mhm.
right? Going on 4. And there was never a time, and I always taught boxing from the beginning because boxing is arguably debatable, my favorite sport. And there was never a time since I've been doing this in 4 years where I felt like boxing was sustainable enough to deliver weekly content on a show like this.
Mhm.
Never. Right? Because you would have fights happen sporadically, if at all. And there would be dying points in boxing where it's just like, yeah, it's nothing to talk about. I feel like more so than ever this year in 23, like there's a lot of boxing content where we could have a show and every show has at least one boxing topic. And that has been the case, when you look at our past couple shows. And, I just want to hint at that. But my take for 99 is that skills pay the bills, but knockouts pay the pay-per-views. Haney versus Loma. Let's start over there. Great fight. Fight of the year. Very tactical, very controversial. And it over exceeded my expectations, truly and honestly. But it had underwhelming pay-per-view numbers. Haney versus Loma did 130,000 pay-per-view buys. But let's reflect back to Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. They did 1.3 million pay-per-view, buys. We can make the case that Loma and Haney was definitely the more exciting fight because, Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia kind of flopped. I'm not going to lie. It did. I mean, the guy took a knee like Colin Kaepernick. Okay, it flopped. But fans knew they were going to see a KO. That's why they paid for it, right? Haney is not a pay-per-view draw and star. Not even close. He has no punching power. Okay, he couldn't even stop Loma when he was throwing body shots from round 2. He couldn't stop him. He has the skills to pay the bills. He can pay his bills. He can pay his light bill. I get it, right? But he should have lost to Loma, right? He should have lost. So I don't see how his stock went up. Now, in Loma's behalf, he should have won this fight. He hurted him in the 11th round, couldn't pack him out. And guess what? He left it in the hands of the judges. That's why he got robbed. He allowed himself to get robbed because he didn't win the 12th round, and he allowed Haney to make it to the end of the fight. There you go. That's why you got robbed, right? Back in the day, the judges of boxing had the easiest job in America. Why? Because guys wanted to go for the knockout. They didn't want to go to the scorecards. I was chasing legacy. I'm trying to knock you out. Judges was like, all right, fight is over. Knockout. I don't got to score. I don't got to do no more scores and all that. I'm out. Easiest job in America. Thank you. American dream, baby. Right? Guys back then, they cared about legacy. They wanted to knock you out. These young guys these days are just content with surviving 12 rounds in boxing and picking up a check and moving on. That's what we come to in boxing. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not hating on the sweet science of boxing. I'm a boxing fan. I appreciate the tactician. I appreciate, right, the sweet science of the sport, the defense, the IQ, right, the offense, everything. I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Fans want to see knockouts. That's why they will pay for Tank and Ryan Garcia. Hell, we could be getting Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia. We know damn well Rolly Romero cannot box to save his life. He has no fundamentals. But I bet you that fight right there, right, will sell more than Haney Loma. Why? Not because it's going to be a better fight. It's because those guys got personality and they got power. So we are expecting a knockout, and that's what we want to see at the end of the night. So once again, I reiterate, skills pay the bills, but knockouts pay the pay-per-views. My night is over.
That was a great take. I think when we talk about the knockout power being the number one thing in boxing, I think it's true. I agree. I think it's interesting how guys who are very tactical, guys who go 12 rounds every fight, but they beat up their opponent so bad, it's unanimous decision every time. Those guys are not the pay-per-view guys. Those guys, because no one wants to see a 12-round fight, and that's the truth. A lot of boxing fans don't want to see 12-round fights. They want to see the best fighters, someone get knocked out. They don't want to see a 12-round fight. I remember, like I said, with Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta Davis, everybody had Leo Santa Cruz winning that fight. Every single soul. It was like Leo Santa Cruz gonna box him. He ain't like the other guys. Gervonta face. You think he's just gonna go in there with power and win? Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. And that's exactly what did happen. I love the take. I thought it was great. My take is actually also in boxing.
Yo, before you get there real quickly, I do want to add this point. I ain't mean to cut you off.
What?
That's why you try to avoid the judges. We see a lot of corruption in the sport of boxing. Not lately. I mean, do your history. Forever. Since this sport existed, it's been corruption and robberies and fixes. Don't leave it to the hands of the judges. When you go for the knockout, you erase all doubt. When you knock somebody out, there's no doubt, right? Haney and Loma, like I said, it was a robbery. It's all doubt. Fight him again, Haney, right? Fight him again. Erase all doubt. Beat him badly, right? Beat him decisively. But that's part of my point. But go ahead, Zay. The mic is yours.
Like I said, it was a fantastic take. My take is also in boxing, and my take for 99 cents is Issac Cruz. I believe that's his name. Issac Cruz. Issac Cruz is the most feared boxer in boxing. Guys don't want to fight him in his division. Guys are ducking him. Outside of Gervonta Davis, everyone talked about Issac Cruz like he was a bum, but Ryan Garcia ducked him. Apparently, Issac Cruz told him, "Let's fight." It was supposed to be a contract settled. Nothing happened. Devin Haney, Issac Cruz supposed to be one of the contenders for that belt. Ducked him. Clearly. Look over him. And he's been beating guys up left and right. Issac Cruz has been beating guys up left and right to the point where Gervonta Davis said, if I don't fight Devin Haney, the next person is Issac Cruz. Again, there's going to be another fight where people are ducking Issac Cruz. Shakur Stevenson recognized Issac Cruz and said he would fight Cruz next, if anything, because he's the next guy to get to the belts. This guy is dynamic. It's ridiculous how many guys are ducking him. They do not want to fight this kid because of how dynamic of a puncher he is, how relentless he is as he basically walks towards you for 12 rounds. Even if he doesn't get the knockout, he's going towards you for 12 rounds, landing punches, landing shots that's hitting you with ferociousness. For me, I know there'll be an early take, but I'm gonna say it early because I already see what's gonna happen when the Davises, when the Haneys, and Garcia already went up, and Lomachenkos are gone from the division. It's gonna be Issac Cruz division. It's really gonna be Issac Cruz versus Shakur Stevenson for the foreseeable future. That's gonna be the future of the division. So for me, right now, I'm saying he's the most feared fighter in boxing. Guys do not want to see this kid. They don't want to see him. They know what kind of power he possesses. They know how relentless he is, and they don't want to see that right now in their careers. And that's why right now, that is my take for 99 cents.
So, Zay, before we get there, I'm glad you stayed in the sport of boxing because you saved me. Because I do have points from my last take that I'm going to just combine here as I respond and use my 1 minute to your take. Now, I'm going to try to spin this up fast. So, basically, as far as Devin Haney is concerned, right, because we are in the lightweight division still, right? So, yes, I had the outlet to reference what I forgot to mention. He's thinking about moving up to 140, right, and fighting Regis Progress, right? And it's like, okay, you move up to 140 to avoid Shakur Stevenson or a Tank fight. It doesn't matter. Guys at 140 can crack, okay? Like, think about it. They can crack. Progress can crack, right? Rolly Romero, come at him as you want, but his fundamentals, he can crack. Barbosa can crack, right? Those guys up there can crack, right? Ryan Garcia is fast, but, fast, speed, sometimes it's power, right? Those guys can crack over there at that division. So, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, as our intro alludes to, right, of our show. I mean, come on. You get touched, you're getting knocked out, bro. But anyway, so back to this Issac Cruz thing. You said he's the most feared? Like, how did you word it? He's the most feared boxer.
Like people, he's the most avoided boxer
In the lightweight division or all the boxing?
In the division.
Okay, in the division. I'm glad you ain't say all the boxing because you would have had me here, stealing minutes, right? Right. All right. So basically, what I heard is that Shakur Stevenson sent him a contract. Now, as he said, she said, because we don't ever get those things shown in the public. We don't see the contracts and nothing like that. We don't see that from the public eye, right? Everything is confidential between the team. But according to Shakur Stevenson, they sent him a contract to fight. He turned that down. Whether it was him or his team, according to Shakur, right? Like I said, that's he said, she said. He turned it down. So he may be avoided by a lot of these other guys, which I can probably co-sign. I don't think Ryan Garcia wants to fight him. I actually think he ducked that fight. But I do believe Shakur Stevenson that Issac Cruz ducked that Shakur Stevenson fight. Now, maybe it's because he thinks he's going to get the Tank rematch, which is a very distinctive possibility because that's what Calvin Ford, Tank's trainer, said, that it's either going to be Haney next or it's going to be Issac Cruz. So maybe that fight is a bigger payday, and that's why he turned it down. Or maybe that report is not even true. I don't know. He said, she said.
I say, like, right now, right, this take is premature, right? I can agree. It's a premature take. But within 2 years, we're going to be talking about Issac Cruz as one of the better fighters in the division. We're going to be talking about him at a very high regard within the next 2 years, because guys are going to be moving on. Guys will be moving up. People don't want to stay in this division. They don't want to stay at 135, especially when Haney came out talking about, my natural walking weight's 150 something. I want to keep going down to 135. Probably many fighters outside of Davis, many fighters who are like 6 feet and up, that's in this division, 5'11" and up in this division, they don't want to continue weighing down because they're technically not supposed to be in this division anyway. You're too heavy for this division, but you're basically shrinking yourself so you could take on easier talent or you could pick apart easier fighters. But Davis is doing a fantastic job at making sure that this division stays at 135 because he's comfortable being there, and his power surpasses a lot of dudes who are at 140, 145, 150. So that's why a lot of guys are complaining. Well, Haney complaining, talking about, I can't keep shrinking myself. That's why the rehydration is important. Like, well, if you're at a weight where you're most comfortable, you wouldn't have to worry about a rehydration clause because you shouldn't be down here anyway.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Those are the weight bullies that I'm talking about, right? Devin Haney is a weight bully. Luckily for him, luckily for them, he don't got no power, right? But he's a weight bully, right? He'll be the best. If he had power, he'd be the best lightweight.
Oh, absolutely. Same thing with Robert Easter. Remember him? When he was like 6'2" in that division? Like, he was just... And then Mikey Garcia came and took him out of there. He's like, now you got to go up and wait.
Yeah, if he had power and he would be the best in that division. But, I still think 135 is where it's at. As far as, the legacy fights are for the belts, for the pay-per-views. I still think it's more attractive than 140. But I would admit, if Haney moves up to 140 and Ryan Garcia just moved up to 140 already, it's starting to become lucrative. Like 140 was boring. It was boring. Now you got Rolly over there, and he's, like I said, he's not a boring fighter. He don't got no fundamentals, but he's not boring. 140 is starting to be attractive. And let's see who continues to move up to 140 and who stays at 135. Right now, 135 still was the king, but 140 got my attention.
I can see a situation happening if Shakur Stevenson winds up going against Tank and for whatever reason, win or loss. You can see, look at 140. I want to move up to face Haney and Garcia next. What's the word? Because he was basically chasing Tank, Loma, Garcia, and Haney. He wanted to see all four of them. I don't know how likely Loma would happen, but Haney and Garcia are still extremely young, and Shakur Stevenson is still young as well. I can see a situation where Shakur moves up and is like, all right, I want to fight you guys too. Like, this is time. Like, you guys ducked me in 135. I want to see you at 140 now.
Eventually. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up another episode of 99 Pod. It's not 1999 anymore. And I'm going to head out because, I got a sick house right now. I got to play the nurse here. So I got to get to work. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully, if I don't get sick, I'll be back here on Thursday previewing and predicting the NBA Finals. We want to do Factor Cap NBA Finals edition and preview the finals and talk about the games and predictions and also any other hot topics that's going on. There's a few that were left on the table that I can't wait to get here on the mic hopefully, to talk about on Thursday. Say, it's always fun doing the show. Looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Have a great day. And everyone, please like and subscribe to the channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we out. Peace out. Peace.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, or leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.